Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show.
I can't hear
Joe,
you.
I am super excited. How are you, love?
I'm doing great, and I definitely feel better than I sound. So I can't wait for Des to jump on.
I know. Yeah, let's get this sibling in the house right now. We have her sibling, Des.
Des, help me. I sound horrible.
Did you not go do the lemon and honey like I told you? Did you not do the lemon and honey mixture?
I'm on my way.
Okay.
So as you see already, we have siblings. They just go jump right in because guess what? That's what siblings do, right? Siblings can finish each other's sentences. They can give each other the business. He's like, no. You're not going to be talking to me like that. You have sibling dynamics that are all over the spectrum. I would consider that a spectrum, wouldn't you guys? Siblinghood.
Yeah, I'd say so. For sure.
And it's not just the two of you. Actually, you have more. You have another sibling too. So adding multiple siblings into the dynamic is just even more interesting, especially if it's someone of the opposite sex. A brother is like, really?
Yeah.
That's doing the most, you know? Listen, I know you all are doing some staging and you're dressed and ready for that with some big moves and things happening with your real estate. So I want to jump right into today's episode, everyone. We're talking today with siblings, and these siblings have their own story to share. So as we chime in and you get your virtual seats, make sure that you know you can share your sibling story as well. So where do you want to take us? How did it kind of all begin for you guys? Going back in the day in your younger years.
We didn't get along in our younger years.
I let the oldest speak first.
Oh, okay.
She loves to do that.
Well, let's start with that. How much older are you than your sister?
I'm 3 years older than Des. And I used to be perturbed whenever she borrowed my clothes.
Did she used to ask you to borrow your clothes?
Sometimes, but not all the time.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, and then we used to take these road trips, right? We used to be in the back, like elbowing each other. We used to be
so the whole time y'all would be doing that. That's
back
funny.
in the day when you would see the what was it, the Volkswagen buggy? You know, and every time you see the buggy, you'd be like, punch buggy. We'll be punching each other.
Oh, so y'all played road games, but y'all literally turned it into a dueling match.
Punch buggy.
That's hilarious. So are those like fond memories now that you're laughing about it now, but at the time were you serious?
Yeah, here's one. I remember this. I will never forget this a day in my life ever. You know what my big sister used to do to me? Because she thought I was so dumb.
Has to do with the dime.
Yeah. So, we, like my father, our uncles, like we all had like, I don't know, big bottles where we would just put coins in. So, of course, over time, the bottles would fill up. So we take the bottles and we would divvy up the money. And Love would say, oh, Des, you should take this one because this is bigger, so it's worth more. So she would tell me the nickel is more money than the dime and take all the dimes.
Oh, that's so wrong. How do you feel about that, Love, now knowing that you just really conned your sister?
Can you believe it?
I was a kid.
No.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, I was a kid.
Oh, so it's like pleading the fifth. I was a kid. I could do no
Yeah.
wrong back then.
I was a child.
Katie, it's Des. Sorry, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
Okay, I'm gonna remove Des for a second. Des trying to handle. They're doing a big staging project today, so for them to even be on here is like such a big deal. And sharing
Yeah,
their
we have
siblings.
a $2 million. We have a $2 million listing.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So a $2 million
Yeah.
listing, and you're getting everything
Yeah.
ready for that. I know we're going to talk about
Yeah.
that with her having the person there. Tell us about your real estate, and you all are sisters selling real estate together. How is that at this journey in your life? Des, you back?
It's
Thumbs up?
great. I mean, last year Des went through her cancer journey, and when she was healed, she said, "Love, I want to do real estate part-time." Little did we know it was going to be full-time. But to God be the glory. And we are blessed. Our pipeline just continues to grow daily, and we are starting to close out deals that we've been, networking and communicating with other people back in July. So these deals are starting to come to fruition. So we're super excited. 2024, we know it's already amazing. It's not going to be. It is amazing.
It's the amazing year of abundance.
Amazing year. Somebody type that in the comment section.
Amazing. That's what God gave me. It's the amazing year of abundance.
I am so proud of that.
And divine order.
Divine order and amazing year of abundance.
Year of abundance and divine order.
Wow.
That's what God gave me.
And you believe that the two of you together are able to do it better as siblings?
Oh, absolutely. She's Sergeant. We call her Sergeant. Actually, our client calls me Drill Sergeant. I didn't even know I was a drill sergeant, but
okay.
So I wear like the creative hat and also the business hat. Love is like, let's get down to business. So it really helps me out so that I could focus more on the creative side, which I really would love to do. I want to, do more of creating and producing things. So it's wonderful. And Love is the executor. Okay. You give it.
I don't do a lot of talking. I like to get stuff done. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's good. So you all complement each other.
Very well. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And how can people stay connected with you too?
Sister Selling Real Estate on Facebook and also Instagram. And our phone number is 704-997-9539.
She took over.
She finally learned it. Or are you reading it, Love? Are you reading it?
No, I'm not reading it.
Don't cheat.
I see it now.
So what advice do you have for siblings to be able to have this level of laughter and joy that you all have, and you found your commonality in real estate? What advice would you give other siblings out there that may not be as lockstep as you all are?
Well, I will say that we were really born into real estate. Like, you know what I'm saying? And staging. My mother was teaching us staging before it was even a thing. So we were like born into it. Our father was a landlord and investor. We have uncles that had a construction company, uncle as an engineer. We had an engineering company. So we were born into this. So we were born to do it. And of course, when you're young, and you have like outside influence from family and friends, you have to grow into who you're going to be, who you're going to become. And so, it takes time. The thing that I can say is you cannot have a beautiful relationship. You cannot grow together and grow in love if you do not know yourself. And if you're not assertive and you can't speak up, and tell people how you feel. And you don't got to be angry to do it.
Right.
You just speak out of love and sincerity and tell your truth.
Good. Great advice. Great advice.
And
So
I
you
would
don't have to be
say,
angry, but just tell your truth and do it out of love. Love.
Love
I
and
love your name,
sincerity.
love.
Love and
Love.
sincerity. That's it.
thank you. And I would add on to that. I would add on to that and say, tomorrow is not promised. And so every day you should live it and continue to live every day. God gives you grace, strength, and breath. So live it. Why be miserable? Why not live happy, laughing, thinking about your abundant future and living in that versus the past?
That's right.
I
So
love that.
I want to encourage people to look towards the future.
That's right.
And just live. Why do you want to be sad? You control that.
And not only that, because I've done so much research after taking a year off going through breast cancer, I will tell you guys, being sad is creating an environment, an internal environment for illnesses and disease to fester. You need to be in a happy, loving vibration in order for your body to be in healing mode. So just want to share that. Like, whenever you're in a funk, get out, run, jog, whatever you know that's going to make you, your spirits lift, whether it's listen to music, whatever it is, do that.
Yes, do that. Feeling good is a strategy. So get strategic.
Yes.
I love that. I love the advice that you all are giving, because you, Des, you went through stage 4 cancer, right? Stage 3 cancer, and you're in remission. You're healed from it. And your sister played a key part in that journey with you. Talk to us just about how instrumental she was in your journey.
Oh yeah, she went to me. I would say she went to almost all my appointments. I think she only missed 1 or 2, and then my kids were at those appointments. But you know, I'm the type of person, I like to joke around and laugh anyway. So we made a lot of fun. Love was like, yeah, we're gonna make fun of cancer. So you know, we just went in like just laughing and just, again, I knew I had to keep my spirits up. I had to keep my spirits up, and I had to picture myself on the other side. I went to sleep visualizing being older with gray hair in a rocking chair on the porch, looking at my great grandkids. Like, I did a lot of visualizing when I went to sleep. And that's what it takes, because you have to get your brain cells firing to create that in your world, instead of creating, oh my gosh, I have this illness, I'm gone, I'm out of here. So that's, you know, that's what we did. We just
and
made
what
fun
for
of
you,
it.
for you,
we
love.
laughed our way through it. We laughed our way through it. I just looked at her. I was like, "You can't die, so we gotta do whatever we gotta do."
So y'all made fun of the situation, made light of it, even though it's not obviously make fun of situation. Is very traumatizing. I'm sure I can't speak to it, because you can't speak to something you haven't dealt with. You can just read about it and share.
We didn't give it life. We didn't give it life.
Oh, I love that. How many of you all in the comments section love that?
And you know that walk that I did, the Des Gerald Cancer Healing Walk that I did in October? I said, you know what? I'm getting rid of that word cancer. Why am I even saying that word? So it's going to be, I think we're going to turn it into the Gerald Healing Walk, because my dad, you know, had prostate cancer. We just finally were introduced to some new Geralds, and they went through breast cancer. So I was just going to make it a whole family thing. The Gerald Healing Walk for 2024.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
I didn't tell them yet, but now they'll know.
You just told them. You just told them on here, y'all. It's the Gerald Family Healing Walk.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tell us about your brother.
So Jamal, he is, I don't know, how old is Jamal? I'm 8 years old.
He's 14 years younger. He's 40. He's 40.
Yeah, he's 40. So yeah. So
14 years younger. Nobody ever thought that was your child?
Oh,
You know how
yeah.
back in the day people be like, because I'm 16 years older than my youngest brother. And so people be like, oh, that was her child. No, he's not. He's my child. But I was stuck to him like he was like constantly like on me all the time. So how was it growing up with a 14-year difference with your brother?
Well, of course it wasn't the same, because Love, I think, was already almost out of the house.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to college.
Because he's 8 years younger than me.
Right.
Yeah, but he was the spoiled one. My mom did and plus it was her first boy, so he was spoiled. She had him dressed in Polo, Ralph Lauren, all types of stuff.
All the name brand stuff.
Yes.
So y'all were like, okay, you have some bias here, woman.
Yeah. Right.
So out of your journey as siblings, the biggest thing that you feel that bonded you all together, what do you say that takeaway is?
I would say our parents.
Yeah.
Because our dad worked 3 jobs to make sure we went to private school, that we always had the best education. We always went to the doctor. We always had food in the house. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. So I would definitely say that our parents.
We traveled in the summertime.
Yeah, we took us everywhere.
He wanted us to be able to communicate with a bum on the street to a top level executive of any corporation. And that's happening today. So look at God.
Wow.
And he used to give us allowance to get our hair done every week. Like, he was such a great dad.
Yeah.
Awesome dad.
Wow.
I would definitely say our parents.
Yeah, and my mom, like I said, she prepared me for the staging industry before it was even called staging. Like, we were always rearranging the furniture. We went shopping every Saturday for like home decor stuff, clothes. That's why I'm all, I'm into fashion as well. And so, yeah, she even down to like, she used to have like a lot of dinner events after church. And so we used to like make a lot of appetizers and stuff, like even down to that. Like, I went to school for culinary arts, so everything that our parents poured into us, we're like living it now.
That's so instrumental for parents that are watching today on this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, how we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. What we do as parents now, when our children are younger, that helps determine some of the outcome of their destiny, like these sisters selling real estate. Back in the day, their parents had no clue that they were cultivating them and priming them to be this, Look at that. What is that? When you took that photo, it's people in the room, but I feel like you all felt like y'all were on an island by yourself right there. Describe that photo.
We were like, finally, we did it. Our dream is here. It's real. It's happening.
Can I ask these guys?
We're living our dream.
Oh, okay.
Wow. All right. And this one, look at that.
That's just us. That's our personality.
That is funny. That's your personalities right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's our personalities. And we feed off each other. We know what each other's thinking. We just have to look at each other, and I know exactly what she's thinking, and we'll just talk about it later. If we can't talk about it right then and there, like I'm 50, 51. Love is 54. So we've done this for a long time. So like I said, I can typically know what she thinks. She just gives one expression. I know exactly what she's thinking.
So you kind of like twins, but you're not twins because you're 3 years apart, but you know each other enough like kind of twins. Okay, Mackenzie, put some comments up so I can see what people have said to Des and Love right quick, and then we're going to go ahead and move forward with the rest of our show. Let's see what some of these comments are. Lots of comments been coming in, so everybody enjoying today's episode dealing with sibling dynamics. A Facebook user said, yes, I am the oldest and I remember the punch buggy game. Athena said that our sunshine is for. Hey, Athena, happy New Year. Okay. Congratulations, ladies, on your new project.
My staging team is here now.
Oh yeah, she getting ready to go all the way in right now. Any blessings and as you close these big deals, $2 million deal that they have that they are working on right now. Congratulations to you all. Any other comment? And we're gonna go to commercial break. Any other comment?
Thank you for
Any
having
closing
us.
comment,
Ma'am.
Des?
Thank you.
Glory
Thank
to
you for
God.
having us. I want everybody to know this is the year, amazing year of abundance and divine order. Get yourself in order. Speak life. Speak truth. Be the light. Be the light. And all those things will be added unto you. Everything that you pray for, ask for, God will give them to you. You just have to believe. You have to go out there. You got to get it. Don't be lazy. Don't be inspired, but be inspired and act on that inspiration.
Be inspired and act on
Let's
that
go get
inspiration.
it.
What?
Let's go get it.
Let's go get it.
Let's go get it from love and be inspired and act on that inspiration. And my word for 2024 is obedience. Doing everything that God told me to do.
That's
Don't
right.
worry about overthinking it. Don't worry about who agrees with it. Just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, and be obedient. My mom said, "Good morning, ladies. You guys are so funny but loving. God is good. Sisterhood seems to be awesome." And I call my daughter Kim my sister. And she said, somebody else said, "That's some good wisdom, Des. That's some good wisdom." All right, y'all. Go stage. Me and my brother have a good relationship, and I thank God for it. Okay, y'all, take us to commercial break, Mackenzie. And when we come back, we're going to hear from some younger siblings that's in the house. Feeling good is a strategy, so get strategic. I see all your comments. Thank you all for joining us today.
Bye.
All right, commercial break. We'll be right
learn
back,
about
everyone.
health when you can experience it. Experience it in beautiful Florida in February 2024. Join us for 3 days of integrative and intensive health and healing education and empowerment with the expertise of the following Healthopedia author, speaker, and facilitators. The world-renowned homeopath and acupuncture physician, Dr. James Marinakis, 4-decade health coach and holistic nutritionist, Dr. Joe D. Bear, and others such as Kimberly Meredith, Dame Doria Cordova, Rex Sykes, Dr. Gary Sanchez, Jamie Kerr, Serena Brown-Travis, and more. Experience daily morning walking and yoga, interactive participation, panel discussions, and more for your own epiphany of health. Get your tickets now.
Everyone, we are back here on this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. And guess who I have with me today? I have y'all saw her in the intro where I have my cousins right there. That's where we do this thing called the cousins lunch. Well, this is my first cousin, Sharonda Banks. How are you, Sharonda?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so glad you came on.
Yes, I'm glad to be here too, even though I'm technically not a sibling, but we'll talk about that more.
On top of that, the thing is, we definitely can't talk about what we talk about in cousins lunch and stuff.
Absolutely not.
That, if you a fly on the wall, you'd be like, wait.
That's right. Yeah, all in.
What are they over there talking about? Y'all, if we even look around and see somebody that we think might be somebody we know, we move them. We move it
down.
But we have a good time. I'm glad you're here today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
And Jermaine, you like, what am I, a dog meat over here? Acknowledge me. Hello, I am a cousin here. But you know what? And I don't know if it's in African American families and Black families or what. But if your cousin is younger than you, then automatically, I don't know if it happens in all families, but in our family, it's Aunt Kim. So even though I may not be aunt for real, I'm cousin. Yeah. So Jermaine, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Cousin Kim?
Now you're gonna call me Cousin Kim. You called me Aunt Kim before, Cousin Kim. You call me Cousin Kim?
Yeah.
Oh, don't highlight it today, because most of them I never knew that until we're gonna talk about that off camera.
Offline.
I thought you called me Aunt Kim, but now you just contradicted everything I said.
Oh,
right?
I'm so sorry. Don't be the break your flow.
But not really, because it's still giving honor and respect by not calling you by your first name, which is a cultural thing.
Okay, I'm not frozen over here. I'm just really like, what is happening to me? That's so funny. So anyway, I'm excited that you guys are here today, and we're going to be talking about siblinghood. And I had the opportunity to spend the time with you all on a 7-day cruise.
Yeah.
So I really got to see the dynamics between you and Jemiah. And let me just pop Jemiah up for a second, because Jemiah is her own thing. Okay. She's her own.
Her own thing.
Yeah, she is not. She came with her nose and her belly ring. She's like, I'm free. Anybody have a problem with it? So be it. That's you. Nothing to do with me. So, but she's also in school and college, and she's living her best life right now. So today we have her mom, Sharonda, and her brother, Jermaine. Which one of you want to start talking about let's talk about your sibling dynamic first, Jermaine. You growing up with Jemiah.
So, similar to the people who came before us, me and my sister, we have a 3-year difference. And so, yeah, it's different because I feel like 3 years is a good number where you guys are in 2 different places in life. Like growing up, like Maya would always be like in the step that I find out what it's like 3 years later. Like when Maya first started getting friends, I was still in that, oh, let's play and let's do this other stuff phase. So it was always interesting because Maya would be growing up and I would be like still a kid, and then I would grow up and then Maya would be like looking down from another level because she'd be up again. And so it was an interesting dynamic. But I think that with those kind of dynamics, you just have to find where you fit, because like
Right.
with Maya, it's like she kind of became like another parent in a sense, and like hopefully she's not watching this. I want her to hear her say that now. She already thinks she's my mom, but
Oh yeah, if she hears that, she's gonna be like, I knew it, I got it.
Yep.
But it's true in many ways because like she has taken care of me through the years. She's made me like food. She's made sure I slept at night. She's been there for me when I cried. And so the basis of being a sibling is still there no matter what the difference is. It's just that, 2 different points of ages kind of lead to 2 different interests and likes and things that really draw us in. So stuff like that.
That's really good. So you feel like I tagged some of the family members. That's what I was looking at here, tagging some of these family members and telling them that y'all on here. But anyway, I wanted to find out from you, with you acknowledging that she's kind of like a parent figure to you, even though she's only 3-year difference. Do you feel like, I don't have any scripted questions or anything, so I'm just talking to you, but do you feel like that 3-year gap gives more wisdom to the point where she can serve in that capacity to you?
Well, I wouldn't call her exactly my parent. I have a very lovely parent right here with mom.
He's trying to backpedal out of everything. He's like, none of y'all get these titles today.
But I do think that Maya has offered me advice and help and guidance in many different ways. So I do think that the wisdom is there, but I'm a heavy believer in that you have wisdom at any age category. It just varies on what that wisdom might entail. I think that a person who has been through something in 10 years can go through it in 2. And it really just depends on what experiences life throws at you. And so I love to take and hear like advice from her. And I love to get some of the stuff that I've learned back, even though she doesn't always listen, but you could always offer it. And yeah, so with the wisdom, it's really perspective, because of course there are things that I'm going to be like, oh, I love that, let me grab it. But there are things I'm going to disagree with. And it's going to be like a little bit of a, okay, thank you for that. But like, I don't really agree with it. So I'm probably not going to use it. But I just think that comes from being a sibling.
That's good. And so what are some of the more fun things that you all do together as siblings?
So we're a family full of dancers. And so back in the day when me and my sister both did competition together, that was really fun for me because it was something that like the whole family shared. And like mainly me and Maya were like on the stage together. So like I really enjoyed doing dances with her because it made me feel connected to her, even though she blew everybody out the water. But it doesn't change the fact that like, it was still a fun experience. She loves doing TikTok. So she'll run in my room, burst in practically, and start filming a TikTok, and I'll be like, oh, I just wanted to watch my show. But they're actually like pretty fun to do, because it just gets me up and active. I'm in the recent years, I've become quite a little homebody. And so it's fun to like actually get up and do stuff. We talk, we do games. I try to introduce her to some stuff that I like, because we're two completely different people. And so we like two very different things. And so it's just interesting to see how we mesh here and there.
That's really good. I'm glad to hear that, because so you could be in the middle of doing something else, but because her TikTok thing is important to her at that moment, you'll kind of just drop what you're doing and be like, hey, oh.
I won't lie. I won't do it all the time. If I'm really into what I'm doing, I'll be like, hang on now. But if I'm in the mood and I'm feeling like, I don't know, just like, yeah, let's do it. Like I'll be like understanding to be like, let's do it. Because at the end of the day, I know she just wants to spend some time with me.
Okay, this is good. So from a mom perspective, just talk to us about being a mother of siblings and the different dynamics that you observe when it comes to managing the household.
Yeah, and a lot of it's different for me because I'm an only child. I don't have siblings. So in my head, when I had children, I wanted to have at least two because I felt like growing up by yourself was lonely. And so it's interesting to me, having, two children, because it is a lot, because they have a lot of needs, and they, and you have to, watch them. I'm also a single parent. And so when Jermaine talks about Maya saying she the second mom, she really believes that. Like she be like, I'm gonna go pick up our son. I'm like, it's not your son. It's my son. I birthed him. Like, but she's dead serious. Like, she'll wait for him.
Right.
Son, how was your day? And if Jermaine's seeming all politically correct right now, but at home he'd be like, I'm not your son. Like, he'd be really giving it to her. And I just laugh because it really is the dynamics of their relationship, because I am a single parent. So Jemiah had to step in sometimes and feed him, or step in and pick him up from school for me because I may be at work. So I laugh at that dynamic. And also when they were younger, at home, they would bump heads a lot. That 3-year age difference, I thought it was interesting when Des and Love said they didn't get along when they were younger, because I feel like Jemiah and Jermaine bumped heads a lot. I did a lot of, they had a shirt that they had to wear. You remember that? They had a shirt they had to wear, and they had to both be in it and hug each other, until I remembered they was hugging each other, because I'm like, y'all gonna love each other by any means necessary. Y'all gonna love each other.
Oh, so a shirt that you made both of them get in.
Yeah,
you're reminding me of trauma. Please, let's get away from this shirt.
And they had to hug each other, and it would be so funny because at home I would be dealing with that. But then at school, I would go to like a parent-teacher conference, like Jermaine's when he was in kindergarten, and his teacher was like, "Oh my God, they're so sweet. Jemiah walks Jermaine to class every day, and Jermaine's like, bye, sissy," and Jemiah's like, bye, brother, and give them a hug." And I'm like, who kids does that? What? Like, they were in the car literally just going at it. But but when they went out and about, it was always about love, and it was all about compassion and grace and mercy and having each other's back. And again, I've never experienced that because I'm only child. So I love to see that within them. Just that love that always come in regardless if you fight, and regardless if your siblings on your nerve, it boils down to the fact that they have that unconditional love for each other that jumps in when it needs to.
That's such a good observation as a mom. And you don't even know as a young teenager or whatever, a young adult. I should gotta put it in percent. Oh no, I'm gonna call it a teenager, since now I'm not your aunt.
Yeah.
You teenager, you right. But it's interesting to hear from a parent perspective, because when I was looking at some of the statistics, it's in census.gov, it says that more than 4 in 5 children, 84.6%, live with 2 parents, also live with at least 1 sibling, and then a higher percentage, usually when they live with their dad, have more siblings, because I know they have more siblings. And I don't know if you want to speak about any of that as well, because those are different dynamics too. Yeah, and in these statistics, it says 48.3% when they live with their dad only, versus 39% when they live with their moms. And a lot of step siblings are higher with these type of family dynamics. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, I could see that. And I'll let Jermaine elaborate a little bit. But yes, their dad has 2 other children that are older by a lot. Jermichael is 31. maybe. And Malik is like right under that 29. So Jermichael actually lived in our home for a while. So they do have a closer relationship. But I'll let Jermaine speak to what that dynamic looks like for you with having other siblings.
Yeah, it's vastly different. I feel like, that now age gaps I do think play a part. I think that the basis of you're my sibling, so I'm gonna have your back is still always there.
Right.
But and it's not just the age difference. They live in a completely different place. They live in Virginia. And so it's also a space thing. I have love in my heart for both of them. It's just, a long distance thing. So I'm definitely the closest with Maya. I've lived with my entire life. She's helped raise me up. But yeah, the love that I have for my siblings is still there for both of them. So shout out to them.
Shout out to the siblings. And it's not step siblings, it's siblings is what the word was that they used. So he did use the correct term for that in this regard. And I'm really glad. I'm grateful because you all took the time to be here today. Some of these pictures that I have, just tell me what they kind of mean to you. What they
These are just old, so they throw me for a loop because I was wondering what Mama said, and I didn't know she said certain ones, but it's okay because she didn't send these to me before her. She knows I like to look over my photos, but it's okay. It's okay.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I think in this one Maya just got finished dancing. And so we were just going down to support her. So I remember this scene very clearly.
Maya dances at her college on their dance team. And so we go and support her a lot for her events. And so Jermaine, again, jumped in the picture because he wanted to support his sister, even though he didn't approve the picture. I thought it was cute.
That's hilarious. Okay. And I had this picture too.
So this was from a photo shoot that Jermaine had for his birthday. You want to elaborate?
Yes, I do like this photo a little bit better as it was taken a little bit more recently. Yeah, this was a photo shoot that was taken for my birthday. I didn't get to do a lot for this birthday because of like different time things for my friends and we couldn't really squeeze it in. But this photo shoot, I definitely knew I wanted to do because I'm such a photo person. I think I get that from my mom and like my grandma because they're both very photo people. But like I'm such a photo person that I wanted to get a professionally done photo shoot because all my friends tell me that like I'm always taking photos, so I should do it like professionally, but it's not like directly my passion. But I also wanted to make sure I got on with my sister, and that's what that one was.
And what's interesting is whenever they do individual like photo shoots, they always do one together, always. So when Jemiah does hers for her birthday or other events, they always make sure that they get a sibling shot in as well.
So what is the biggest advice from your perspective, Jermaine, representing you and Jemiah, that you would recommend to other parents that are raising teenage and young adult children? What advice would you give us as to how we can help you all on your journey?
Yeah, I think that when you're raising up people and like little young people who are so impressionable and so change worthy and they have siblings, I think that what's important is to let them grow as their own person and don't make them feel weird about it. Don't make them feel astray for being who they are. And it's hard because you're used to raising one kid first and then the other. And so it's like what worked for this kid, but like it's not working for this kid. And it's like making you question your parenting, it's making you question, oh well, maybe I did something wrong with this one, or maybe I did. But at the end of the day, we're all our own people and we deserve the chance to get to grow as our own people and to get to grow as ourselves. And I'm very appreciative that mom has given me and my sister the chance to grow as our own people because I love the person I am, but I also love the person my sister is. But I wouldn't trade who I am to be more like my sister because I'm me and I got the chance to grow as me. And that's what I love. So that's what I would offer as advice.
Well, that is fantastic advice coming from such a young, wise young man. And Sharonda, as a parent, any advice that you would give us as parents as well? And then we're going to put your social media handles up and go to our next guest that's behind stage. Okay.
I think really quickly, one thing is there's no rule book to parenting, right? And so you're always learning and growing and adapting and shaping. And just like Jermaine said, one child is not like the other. So you have to be open to making adjustments as a parent. And I think we as parents always want to give advice. We want to tell our kids what to do. And something that I've adapted in my family and I'm continuing to do because I am an advice giver. It's just kind of my role, but I'm learning how to ask both Jemiah and Jermaine, how do you want me to show up for you? So when they're sharing things with me, instead of me going straight to advice mode, I'm going to ask, how do you want me to show up for you? Because they just may need me to listen, and that's okay. I can just listen in that moment, or they may need advice or whatever they need in that moment. I guide it based off of what they're saying that they need. And so that's been a game changer in my household. And so that's something I would love to share for any other parents, single parent, doesn't matter. I think it's a good parenting technique to help you relationship build with your children.
I think that is wonderful advice. And thank you for sharing that with us today. Both of you have just been wonderful guests. Outside of being my family, you've been wonderful guests. I think it comes from the cruising that we just had. We have much better clarity of thought, right?
Absolutely.
We were able to reflect and think. Okay, my mom said, good morning to my loving niece, great niece, and great nephew. I love seeing you all share. Oh, that's who you call aunt, was Aunt Ella.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. I was cousin Kim. Okay. I literally am cousin Kim. But in other parts of our family, it's different. Anyway, I love seeing you all share life, love, and happiness. Has been wonderful. I truly enjoyed our time together, and I learned so much about you as siblings, you and Jemiah. Funny, y'all were funny, because right in the middle of dinner, everybody, it would be like, okay, we gotta get ready to go to our social club things, which was for their age category. It was like, have a great one. Okay, don't take a picture on the stairwell. Not if we in it.
Nope, gone.
But that's because of their independence, and I loved it. Okay. Comments, I saw amen. Lots of comments have come in. Jay Christ says, so excited to hear my children. Yes, yes, yes. Jay Christ, you ought to be excited because they get ready to come to the stage and get ready to hear Mackenzie and James Christ getting ready to come onto the scene right after our commercial break. Let's get ready to put our your social media handles, how people can stay connected with you. And then we're going to go to the Christ. So Jermaine, how can people stay connected?
You can stay connected to me on Instagram with only_omega123.
All right. Sharonda, how can people stay connected?
Yes, my Instagram is healthier_Shabu. It's definitely self-care, self-love journey on my page.
All right. And I also want you to come on some of our Freestyle Friday expert panels. So you can come on any Friday you choose. And Jemiah, how can people stay connected with her?
Her Instagram handle is just.maya with 3 A's.
All right. All right. Closing comment, either of you?
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. We're going to take a commercial break. And actually, who you're going to hear from next is one of our very own right here on the Kim Jacobs Show, Mackenzie Kreitz. So she's also working backstage now. So she's going to take us to commercial break. But when you come back, you're going to see her and her sibling right here on this episode. We'll be right back. Right, everyone, we are back, and we have Mackenzie and her brother. Jameson is the real government name, but we're going to call him James today. How are you all today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Mackenzie, we can't hear you.
I said good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. So Mackenzie, you all may know, she works backstage and does a lot of things with the Kim Jacobs Show. Very glad to have you here front and center today. She is a mom and a wife and recently had a daughter that just hit the scene. So I'm excited about that. And her she convinced her brother James to come here on the show today. So I don't know how she was able to pull those strings, but she was able to do it. So glad to have you both here. Mackenzie, talk to us about you and your brother and your dynamics.
Well, he's adopted, not really, but
What it feels like sometimes.
That's gonna spend the whole conversation, and he's like, "Wait, what?"
No, we're almost 3 years apart, and we actually got along pretty good as kids, and we used to play like cars and stuff together, and then after our parents went to bed, we would get out his preschool nap mat and do like WWE, and like I'd pin him and we'd wrestle and stuff. But we got along great as a kid. He's almost 20, so we've really grown up together in a whole lot of different aspects of life.
That's awesome. What's your version of that, James?
Well, pretty much the same thing. I can just like recall memories from like being like 6 to pretty much just any time throughout my childhood or young adulthood. If I needed my sister, I needed anyone. She's just a call away or a text away or just down the hall or whatever the case might be. But yeah, I can definitely agree that we got along pretty impeccably just all throughout our lives.
Interesting. So let me ask, as you all got along so well, when you saw other siblings that were struggling, what were your viewpoints? Like, what did you advise them? Did you give them tips, or even if you didn't, if you have tips now for us, what advice would you give for people that struggle to have the kind of relationship you all have?
Well, I think so. When our parents got divorced, we really like clung to each other. So that was definitely what I think got our relationship close when we were in like teenagers. But as kids, we always like went to the same school. He was always at my dance recitals, and he played soccer as a kid, so I went to his games. So we were always just there as like each other, and then I just think that orchestrated, and now like I love him, and we still see each other and stuff. So,
and
I wonder how is it from? And James, do you want to say something about that too?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like during like that whole like family situation back in high school. I mean, it stirs up such great deep emotions. Like you need to just have someone there with you. So I can definitely say that we were just there for each other in that aspect all throughout the way.
So the divorce piece that throws in a whole different element that when you're siblings, it impacts you differently. At least I can say from my own family perspective, watching my children as I've gone through a divorce, it's like it has impacted them all individually at a very different and deep level, the one that I could have never even imagined possible. So being the recipients from that divorce situation, how do you all respect each other's individuality, but you also have your own emotions about the situation,
We would honestly just like communicate about it a lot, like just really just talk it through, talk about our emotions. It's like what we were feeling at the time. That's probably what I found to be like the best way to just be respectful of each other's like own space, individuality, our own thoughts about it, and our own beliefs on the whole subject. But really, just communication is what kept relationships strong, and just I would say overall improved everything.
Excellent advice. I love that. And then as far as like just being siblings, and you have your high moments and your low moments, and you're like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to us as siblings. What's that best thing that you could say? I'm so glad I had my brother in this one moment of my life. Now you get to get some admiration, James, that you didn't know you were getting coming your way. You're like, yeah, spill it.
When I found out I was pregnant at 19, like my mom and dad were both very mad. And my brother was probably the one out of the four of us that was like, we'll figure it out. You'll be a great mom. That gave me his support even through that like tough time for me. So, and then also like definitely with the divorce, we, like I said, we clung to each other. So, I mean, we would go with each other to like the opposite parents' house and stuff like that in high school, and we were just kind of like each other's rocks. So like if we went to my mom's house and she was working or whatever, it'd be like, how are you feeling about this or whatever, and it just, or the same with my dad. So
That's good. Okay. So you were there, and that, you know what, that could have played an instrumental part in how Mackenzie's outcome of her life really was in that situation, because when you feel like you're disappointing people, there can be some drastic measures that sometimes people take. And so it sounds like you were one of her saving graces, James. So I just think, I mean, that kind of makes me emotional, actually. So I'm thankful for you stepping in to show her the value that she still had in the midst of her own storm. Thank you for doing that. All right, your turn, James. What's something that you admire most about Mackenzie?
Something that I admire most is probably just like the patience and the commitment of just wanting to, of just goals in life. It's like I'm just extremely proud of her. It's like right now she's in the stage of life that I think a lot of people strive to be. It's like she has 2 kids, she's married, they have their own place, and I just find that to be a very awesome change of pace, and I think it's definitely done some good for her. Just and just basically summarizing my whole word spiel here is it's just I'm very proud of her for just like the commitment to just wanting to get stuff done. I find that to be very admirable.
Well, so you two really do admire each other a lot. Any fun vacations, any fun memorable moments that you all want to share as brother and sister?
so like
Definitely. There was this one time we took a trip to the beach with sorry, Mackenzie, you go. No, okay. All right. There was this one time we went to the vacation to the beach with our mom, and like the entire time we're just like sitting on the beach drinking sweet tea, just straight up chilling. Like vacations like that where we're just hanging out with the family, going somewhere, going someplace nice, or even just going to Mexico too. I always like find those moments or those vacations to be like just the best moments I can look back to in my life. Kind of like a 80s montage, if you will.
Or like when I was like 7 and you were 5 and I set your Hot Wheel on fire in the microwave.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was burnt down the hotel room. Thank you very much. Jeez, not smart. I love you, but goodness, Mackenzie.
Now that one he would have chastised you on. You would have been on an island by yourself. He'd be like, "That was that right there, crazy."
It's like, yeah, no, that's crazy. That's fire, man. That's my weakness.
That's your kryptonite, huh?
We also have 3 stepsisters. So there's me and Jameson, and then we have 3 stepsisters in between like my parents. So.
And so, how are the dynamics dealing with your stepsisters?
I would probably say it's kind of the.
You talk, you.
I'm definitely so me and Jameson, like where we live, I live about an hour away from Jameson, and he lives in where my dad lives, so he probably lives like 10 minutes away from my dad, and my stepsister lives with my dad and stepmom, and then I lived, like before we moved in April, I was about 10 minutes away from my mom and stepdad. So I'm definitely probably closer with my stepsisters from my mom and stepdad, and he's probably closer with our stepsister from my dad and stepmom. But we both love them equally. But
oh, of course.
Absolutely. I can tell that there's love amongst all of you all. Everyone that's come on today, I think, has just been representative of the love that siblings can have. What advice do you give to people that really struggle to have a good relationship? Because I don't have anybody that came on today that were at odds. And it's like, that right there, she getting on my nerves. He getting on. So I didn't have anybody come represent that dynamic. Any suggestions or thoughts?
Yeah, you just have to remember that you are there for each other. So, at the end of the day, you only have really your siblings. I mean, because like mom and dad can split up, or your parents can always whatever, and your siblings are always there for you. Like even with my husband and his sister, they are best friends. They'll call each other if they need help with whatever, or but they also argued a lot as kids, but they were also, so they're like close now as adults. So even if you're at each other's neck when you're children, you can always, like, as adults, just be like, hey, I know we had this going on in the past, but I think it's best if we make up or talk.
That's really good advice, because I never even thought about the fact, like you said, some parents can officially break up, but you have each other still. Because all of my children, they still have each other, and they have meetings, and they're strategizing, and they're doing things that is like, I can see they're being their brother and their sister's keeper. I'm heading to the gym. Do you want to come with me? They're including each other at a different level than they did prior to us going through the divorce. So I'm glad that you said that, Mackenzie. That's a very profound point. Anything you want to say, James?
Yeah, I mean, like, pretty much just some sound advice. If you're ever struggling, like, with a relationship with your sibling, I mean, there's only a select group of people that will always love you unconditionally and be there for you. That's friends, family, significant other, but also siblings. So really, you just want to dig deep into those relationships as much as possible, because at the end of the day, that's all you got, man. So really, just like communications, and really just try to open your heart, and really just try to open your heart up. Like, any type of inequities or troubles that you're experiencing with that person, you just need to just be honest with them, communicate, and just really show some love. That's really all there is to it, and that's the truth.
That is so good. So good. You've heard some significant words of wisdom here on today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. I see comments. Well, I guess, Mackenzie, it's hard for you to work the comments because you're on the screen. So I was trying to figure out how to. Okay, so I need to. And you rubbing your hair. You can't figure out how to. Can you help me with this? Oh, come on here, sister. Look, you technically at work too, right? Okay, let's see. I'm like, huh? How are we gonna do this? Oh, let's see. Mackenzie, you and James look so much alike. Good to hear the shared love and good relationship. Being there for each other is great. All right. Thank you for that comment. And let me put this up too. Here's a picture of the two of you. You really do look alike. And tell us about that picture.
That was when my mom and stepdad got married. So Jameson was a groomsman. They did a really small wedding at our church, and so my stepdad only had Jameson as his groomsman. It was just the children. So me and my two stepsisters were the bridesmaids. So that was whenever they did professional pictures at my mom and stepdad's house.
That's awesome. All right. And so being an uncle, that's probably my final question right there for you. Being an uncle now, how does that dynamic play with you being Mackenzie's sibling and now you're an uncle? I saw Remy. He was like, I will go with him.
I would definitely say that it has made our relationship improve in quality and quantity. It's like, ever since Remy's just kind of come on the picture, like, it's just like a whole new different reality. It's like, oh, hey, I have my sister and this wonderful little human being.
Well, he's all about Remy now that he's older, but when he was a baby, he's like, I don't know what to do with this. So, like, we, with Christmas, we all stayed in an Airbnb after we went to my Nana's house, and we had Lorelai, but Remy was with his dad, so we didn't have Remy that week. But Lorelai, he was holding her, and he was like, what do I do? And then she started crying, and he was like, here you go. But with Remy, now that he's older and he likes to play, he kind of like entertains himself. Jameson, I think it was, well, I guess it was 2 years ago. That's crazy. But we went to a corn maze, and him and Remy were like running around the corn maze, and they were getting lost, and Remy was just chasing him, and my mom was like, Jameson, come here.
That's funny. Your dad is on, and he says, such amazing children. So proud of them. He's so proud of you guys. All right, let's see. So I want to make sure that, let me put your social media handle up so people can stay connected with you. James, tell everybody how they can stay connected with you.
Yeah, you can stay connected to me on my Instagram. It's called Jimbone_from_the_team. There's a lot of underscores.
Lots of underscores. And that's on Instagram?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you all make sure you two take a moment to go and and stay connected with all of these guests that came on today. I'm actually working over here too, but I want to make sure all of your social media handles are up. And we had started a few minutes later today, so I wanted to give you all the full time. And if you could, Mackenzie, let everybody know too how they can stay connected with you.
So my Instagram is mac.rhodes, and then my Facebook is Mackenzie on a Joy Roads. And you said Mackenzie Kreitz, and I haven't been Mackenzie Kreitz in almost 2 years.
It's been a minute.
The trend, please forgive me, Mr. Rhodes over there.
I was gonna say, that's my maiden name. That's my maiden. I mean, technically, so.
Yes, she is a Rhodes. Trenton Rhodes is definitely somebody that's near and dear to my heart, because guess what? This man asked her to marry him. And I'm not going to get emotional on the end of the show here, but he asked her to marry him. And it was at a really critical time in her life. I do want you in a few minutes or less to say what happened to you and how your husband became a superhero during that time. Right after we have to run one more episode sponsor. Then we're going to close out with your story, Trenton. Right after, let me play the commercial break, because I can see y'all, you can't focus over there. So let me play this testimonial right quick to let you all know. If you're interested in starting your own show from scratch. Starting their own show from scratch. And I would like to offer each of you an opportunity to just say something pertaining to what your experience has been, and if you'd recommend the training for anyone else.
So yes, I fully recommend the training. You took us step by step by step. And answer any question that we may have. And you also answer question before we even asked. That was a good thing. But the training is very, very full and impactful. I can tell you from day one, you're going to know the direction. You're going to know the direction and what you would need to take. But as the days went on, the training went on, we were able to just fill in the holes that may have been missing from what we was needing to know in order to start from scratch. So yes, love it. Thank you.
All right. So listen, if you're interested in starting your own show from scratch, it's a virtual training. We're starting in the next week. Definitely reach out at kim@thebalancedoctor.tv, or you can call 704-944-3534. And today's episode was sponsored by drjod.com. She has a Healthopedia event coming up that you want to learn more about, and vproducts.store for the coffee. Definitely check out vproducts.store. And our final episode sponsor is getinsured.solution. When you're dealing with final life expense, make sure you reach out to Samantha Benson, 704-499-3616. All right, tell us what happened, Mackenzie. And I see you over there, Trenton.
I don't know how to get the... Okay, that works.
Hey, Jameson.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead, tell us.
So I couldn't walk for a few months. No, it was like 2 months. And I was in the hospital and almost died. And so he didn't leave my side the whole time. And then afterwards, basically my mom was like, that's not the kind of guy you just date. And I agreed. But so then like a week after I got out, I was on my walker still. And he asked me if I wanted to marry him. And then like a week later, we got married.
And I mean, so, she's saying it real briefly, but she had an allergic reaction to something.
To the COVID vaccine.
To what?
The COVID vaccine.
Yeah, and it left her, she was, according to what happened, you physically saw, she was paralyzed, and she had to learn how to re-walk and everything, and had Remy, who was less than 1 at the time, back home, right? He was 1?
Yeah, he turned 1 when I was in the hospital, yeah.
While she was in the hospital. And so that was just amazing to have Trenton, is when I met him, be by her side at that level, to the point where he ended up asking her to marry him. So Trenton, thank you so much for being just a great guy.
And so like not even a year after we got married, it was like 10 months, or not even, it was like 7 months, and we started trying for a baby because I wanted to have a baby with him. So then we just had a daughter she just turned 3 months old. So
Lorelei
Marie, yeah.
Lorelei Marie. All right. And being a sibling in those moments when you have a sibling that's going through an ailment and an illness of that level, what was that like, James, for you?
Well, I didn't know about like the full extent of it. Like it was probably 4 or 5 months after she was thankfully healed, praise God, to where I actually knew that she almost died. So I mean, at the time, I just knew that she was incredibly sick, and it, just kind of hurt seeing my sister like having just a hard time just kind of surviving. Because I mean, the dangerous thing about Guillain-Barré is that like your body just like basically starts attacking your own nerve cells. So you're basically just starts slowly shutting itself down. So I mean, it's a very dangerous thing. So I mean, it was just a bit very, very scary.
But together, you all made it through. You're here, not paralyzed, walking, tick-tocking, and dancing, and doing all manner of stuff, and being a wife and mom. So congratulations to you. Thank you. Thank you all for coming on and sharing your story today. Listen, in the virtual studio audience, if you would like to pour, I consider this a ministry because we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Please know that you can sow into the Kim Jacobs Show. You can do it right through Cash App. Go right to your Cash App and put $ Kim Jacobs Inc. and send any amount. It helps our program continue to come on Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Mackenzie, you want to say a shout out for people doing some kind of sewing?
What'd you say?
Donate. I said, did you want to encourage people to donate?
Oh yeah, I get paid from Kim, so donate.
Yeah, donate.
That's totally subtle, Mackenzie.
I know, right? Yeah, so anyway, donate, Cash App, Kim Jacobs Inc. or PayPal. If you use PayPal, you can type in paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. And if you use Venmo, it's at the Kim Jacobs Show. All right, everybody, that's today's episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your stories. And we will see you tomorrow, at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can tell you some great shows are lined up. One is about decluttering. So make sure you're ready for decluttering your mind and decluttering your household, getting organized. Also dealing with parents with dementia and Alzheimer's. All kinds of great subjects coming up. So make sure you're in your virtual seats at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love everybody. And we're going to go ahead. You can close out the show, Mackenzie. Take care. Thank y'all for being my guest. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference. And I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to